All right, here we are, live on a very wet and rainy Thursday morning. So, I was watching this documentary on Netflix. It's called The Short Game, and it's about kids from all over the world, like the best of the best, going to play in the USPGA Championship at Pinehurst. So it's the kids' championship. It's like the pinnacle championship of kids golf, and they're coming from all over the world. And it's interviewing all these different kids, and they're talking about their dreams, their aspirations, and all this incredible stuff that they want to do. There's a young boy in South Africa that wants to become, the best golfer he can to help raise awareness about the apartheid and all that kind of stuff, his heritage and where he's come from. There's a young girl who says she wants to be the first, you know, female professional to play at Augusta, because women are not allowed to play at Augusta. There's never been a female professional event there, and all these incredible dreams that they're having. And they're working really hard. They're practicing and developing their skills. They're working with coaches. They're working with personal trainers to develop themselves physically. But what's lacking is the development of their emotional management, their mindset, their ability to deal with their emotions, because golf is a really, really emotional game. It's always on you. You're the one on the end of the club, and it's never anybody else's fault. What happens on a golf course is always down to you 99% of the time. Yeah, you get a bad break here and there, you get a crappy bounce, you might land in a shitty area that's not necessarily always your fault. Yes, you hit it there, but sometimes things are not purely down to you. But 99% of the time, it's on you, and no one can change that for you. And you can see that in these kids, when things are not going right, you can see them, they're getting upset, they're losing their shit when things are going wrong. And I get that, I am the ultimate master of the 9-iron helicopter. I can helicopter a 9-iron like you would not believe. I've broken clubs, I've done all sorts of stuff. And you can see this starting to come up in the kids. And, you've got their dads and their mums as caddies that are making it more emotionally demanding for them, because not only are they trying to, play to the best of their ability to win, but also to please their parents. And there's one kid whose dad he's clearly very nervous on the day of the championship, and he keeps telling her that she's got to think positive. And she explains that her dad has said to her that if she gets nervous, then she's going to mess up. And she keeps saying to herself, "So I'm not nervous, I'm not nervous." And she says this over and over and over again. And you can clearly see she's very, very nervous. And it's no wonder that she's prone to exploding and having tantrums on the course, because she's trying to repress her emotions instead of feeling them fully, and then learning how to actually channel them and then use them in a positive, useful way on the golf course. And I get that 100%, because that was me. And you're expected to behave a certain way on the course, and that makes it even worse when you get pissed off, because you're not supposed to be behaving like this. Like, I don't know how I didn't get fined by the PGA because some of my epic meltdowns. It's difficult. And I worked with sports psychologists, I worked with hypnotherapists, all kinds of different professionals with different techniques, and nothing worked. The only thing that ever came close to working was when I did some time with a Meridian therapist. And the main reason that worked is because it actually had me acknowledging my shit. It had me acknowledging my emotions and letting them out instead of actually suppressing them. And sure, it wasn't the whole, the whole thing. It needed developing on, but it was the first time I'd actually been forced to look at what was bothering me, and not just inside of, golf and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to be said for how we deal with young people, young athletes, and what we do to help them actually get the best out of themselves, rather than forcing them to suppress and behave in a certain way. We need to be teaching them how to express in a healthy way and deal with their emotions. And as you go through this documentary, there's a part about the daddy caddies and the parents caddying, and that was so real for me, because you can see the dads and the mums are trying to help the kids, but they're just making it worse. And some of the things they're saying, you're thinking, oh my god, don't say that to your kid. And I know, because I've been there. And then the parents get upset because they want to help the kids, but they can't, and they're so helpless. And I really feel for my mum, because the number of times that me and my dad would come home from a tournament and not speak to each other or argue or fight or whatever, it's so crazy and it's so damaging. And you can see this playing out. If someone had taught me how to feel fully and reframe situations and manage my physiological response to stress, then it would have been a completely different story. And it wasn't till after I learned that stuff that things got better. And by that point, I'd quit, I'd give up playing golf. If someone had taught me all of that, then I know things would have been very different for me. And that'll be the case for many of these kids and their parents as well. Because if their parents are armed with this information, rather than trying to, give fake positive talk to the kids that they don't really believe in, because you can tell they don't believe in it, or getting cross and frustrated with their kids because they can't actually help them, they could guide them through tools and techniques that would help them and do it together, which is going to help both of them. And it goes beyond golf to pretty much anything in life. Anytime where you've got to perform, be that in a sport or in a job or just in general. Because life is about performing ultimately, and the people that perform the best are the ones that do the best in life. It's anything in life where you need to keep your shit together. And if you don't have the training and the techniques and the tools, then even with the strongest will in the world, you're not going to succeed. You're going to stay stuck. You're going to explode. You're going to have all these anxieties and these issues, and you're never going to be able to perform. Now, to help, I put together a little breathing cheat sheet and a video. It's 100% free, no email required. You just let me know if you want it and I'll give you the link. But I think if we can be educated in this stuff, and then we can educate kids in this stuff, and anyone else who is working in a performance-based situation, then we're all going to be a lot better off. And we don't have to have damaged relationships. We don't have to have kids that are falling apart in sports or school or whatever, life in general, because they know how to cope. That's what it's all about. It's about being able to cope. And I couldn't cope back when I was playing golf, and I wish I had known this stuff. It would have made a massive, massive difference. So if you want that little cheat sheet, just let me know and I'll drop you the link. But that's my little rant for today. If you do have Netflix, it's worth a watch, and particularly if you've ever played golf, you're into it and you understand the kind of difficulties. It's interesting to see how these kids deal with it.